9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. This is Courtney Rice. I'm a lot of things. Your WWT PR princess. I've been called Stone Cold Courtney. They called me the Elite One, or should I call myself the Timeless Elite One? But we'll talk about that a little bit. Excuse me for the tardiness because I had to take care of a few things and I was not on WWT Live, but I'm here to present to you AEW Dynamite, which is coming to you from Alabama. And we are kicking things off with the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, taking on the machine, Brian Cage. And, we got that creep, Don Callis, at ringside, along with Lance Archer. Hold on, let me get myself together. But kick back because you're going to spend the next 2 hours with me. And we got some pretty good matches. Of course, one of them right before Dynamite started, we have Ricochet versus AR Fox a week before his match against Swerve. We're also going to hear from the AEW Women's Champion Mariah May. Of course, you know Claudio Castagnoli versus Jeff Jarrett. If Jeff Jarrett wins, he gets an AEW World Title shot against Jon Moxley. Of course, as I mentioned, MJF is going to speak. Also, we get to see, finally, Jay White gets some retribution against Wheeler Yuta tonight. And the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné taking on Yuka Sakazaki. If you have never seen any of Yuka Sakazaki's matches, you are in for a treat because don't let her smile fool you because she is no joke in the ring. But anyways, it really is going to be a fun show. And thank you, Bosa, for joining. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That creep, Don Callis, he attacked Kenny Omega backstage. If you saw right before the match, he got attacked backstage. As you know, he's supposed to be teaming up with Will Ospreay to take on Kyle Fletcher and the AEW International Champion, Konosuke Takeshita. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but it looks like Mr. Ospreay, it's just him. And also, there's been a lot of floating speculation on who is another member Don Callis had. So feel free to put in the chat on who you think is the next member is. There's a lot of talk on who is what, but feel free to do that. I'm very excited to do that. Hi, Lewis. Thank you for joining. And I know you're probably referring to Honey, but this is Courtney, and I handle AEW Dynamite. Honey handles Friday Night SmackDown. So I know that you would love to see Honey. Of course, that's my WWT sister. But this is Courtney, here to do AEW Dynamite. So get ready for spend the next 2 hours. And right now, we do have a good match between Brian Cage and Will Ospreay. And the fans are really trying to get behind Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay just delivers matches. That's why he is the aerial assassin. So, let's see. TNA schedule has Collision on February 15th at 10:30 p.m. EST, assuming that. Well, thank you, Bosa, for that. I do appreciate that, knowing that Grand Slam is going to be on because I know that weekend it's an NBA All-Star game, so I'm not really surprised it's going to air after the All-Star game, but I'm actually going to DVR that and probably watch it Sunday morning the next day. Maybe Wardlow. Maybe it's a possibility. I don't know who the 5th member is because we haven't seen Wardlow in a while, and I'm trying to think of anybody else that I kind of know from the back of my mind because we know Don Callis. Even though I call him a creep, he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. So we don't know what he's willing to bring. But I would not go past him because we don't know what's he going to bring. But we shall see. But it looks like Will Ospreay trying to end this match here And a quick counter by Brian Cage. Ooh, nice counter by Will Ospreay. Throw him off of that. But feel free to chat with me for the next 2 hours. Also, during this 2 hours, because I know I was not on WWT Live today, but I mentioned this last Friday, and I also mentioned this during Honey Night SmackDown. We're going to have a fun little discussion because the professor put out on the table when he was talking about the Hurt Syndicate winning the tag team titles. He said my clients, the Acclaimed, have the worst reign as AEW tag team champions. I'm here to make a strong case for that because my clients, I don't think they had the worst one. And I did do a lot of well thought out moments on this, and I'm going to back it up. So I'll be talking about this throughout the 2 hours of AEW Dynamite. So have no fear. Madam Timelessly Elite is here. So I'm going to be supporting my boys. And trust me, it's definitely going to be a fun conversation to have. We're definitely going to take a little deep dive into it because there's a few things I kind of need to suggest. But, going back to this match, Brian Cage was going for the pin, but kicked out by Will Ospreay. So, but it looks like Will Ospreay kind of hurt his ribs a bit because you see Lance Archer, he's at ringside. So who knows what chaos and mayhem is going to happen. Yeah, I'll probably catch Grand Slam on Max the next day. Went back and watched the first Double or Nothing in 2009. It was a nice trip down memory lane. Yes, my friends, please make sure that Dynamite and Collision, Dynamite moving forward will simulcast not only on TBS, but it will also simulcast on Max as well. So feel free to check out all the beginning stuff of AEW from their first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, to the first few episodes of Dynamite. And you will definitely take a trip down memory lane. But it's also going to be an ongoing process where they're going to put every single episode they had from Dynamite to Rampage to Collision. So it will be a fun treat to have, and very excited on this new partnership for Max. And also super excited. So if you never saw AEW before, you get to take a trip down memory lane. So feel free to take a look. But anyways, going back to the match, and killer powerbomb by Brian Cage. Nasty clothesline on the Will Ospreay. I just love saying his name, Ospreay. It just sounds so good. Oh my God, that was a nasty spot Will Ospreay took. Oh, no. Oh, Lance Archer. Will Ospreay tried to put his feet on the ropes, but Lance Archer moved it, and the referee saw it. What's the referee going to do? Is he going to ban him from ringside? It looks like it. Oh, goodness. Well, Brian Cage looks like he wants to end this thing. Hurricanrana. Oh! Brian Cage ran into his own tag team partner, Will Ospreay. Styles Clash. Is this it? 3, and your winner is the aerial assassin, Mr. Will Ospreay. He picks up the win throughout all odds, but not so much because he still has to deal with Lance Archer. And also remember, Kenny Omega got attacked backstage, so that's also another thing to consider. But Will Ospreay is just getting a beat down. It's pretty much going to be 2-on-1. Actually, I should say 3-on-1. But Will Ospreay, he's all by himself. Ugh. Yeah, they're really putting a beating on Will Ospreay. I'm surprised his old tag team partner Mark Davis ain't there to help him. Oh, and there's Kenny. There's Kenny Omega. And he came out with the equalizer on the steel chair. So, ooh, a nasty chair shot to Brian Cage. Oh my God. That was a nasty, nasty chair shot right there. But it's good to know you come with the equalizer and you don't mess with Kenny Omega. Oh man. See, you do it. Oh, and then of course, as I mentioned, Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, pretty much it's just 4-on-2 at this point. But are we going to get the same thing as we got last week? Because Ospreay and Kenny just took him out. But we shall see. We shall see. But it looks like they're putting a beat down, and now they got that steel chair. A reminder, Grand Slam, it's almost around the corner. It's hard to believe. It's in, let's see, 2 weeks from Saturday. 2 weeks. But unfortunately, the Don Callis family got the upper hand against Ospreay and Kenny Omega. And of course, we see that creep Don Callis come in and Lance Archer just hitting Kenny Omega on the ribs. So, interesting way to kick off Dynamite. I mean, a really good match between Brian Cage and Will Ospreay. But of course, the winner of the match is Will Ospreay, and he got a beat down from everybody in the Don Callis family. And what is that creep doing? They're still beating on Kenny Omega. And that troll has to get getting shots on Kenny while he's down. Exactly. He doesn't want to get it while he's up. He wants to get it while he's down and not able to move. But Brian Cage, oh my goodness, they're really putting on a beating on Kenny and Will Ospreay. But like I said, we have 2 weeks. Grand Slam Australia. And unfortunately, we only have 2 matches announced. So hopefully between now and next week, we can get some matches going on for Grand Slam Australia because the time is ticking. I will admit, and I said this many times, even though there are many times I called Don Callis a creep, I call him a jerk, I call him everything else, but I will say he did a pretty solid job with the Don Callis family this year in 2025. But of course, Will Ospreay's trying to protect Kenny Omega, and Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke are still putting a beating on them. But thankfully, everybody from the Don Callis family is getting out of the ring, and we can focus on Grand Slam. But and as I mentioned, they just put the preview up for Grand Slam Australia. We have that match, and also the AEW Women's Championship. My client Toni Storm, or should I say, timeless Toni Storm, taking on Mariah May. Oh boy. And if you saw Collision, you know. But of course, they're going down the match card, as I mentioned. Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. If Jeff Jarrett wins, he gets a shot for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné taking on Yuka Sakazaki. Also, Ricochet will be taking on AR Fox a week before his match against Swerve next week in Atlanta. Oh, and we get to see Miss Renee, and she's going to try to interview Mr. Swerve Strickland. So let's see. And okay, where the heck is Hangman? And Hangman just went in Swerve Strickland's locker room, and I think he's looking for Swerve. And look, he had an encounter with MJF. Because remember last week, they had an encounter with each other. Well, that's typical MJF for you. I mean, he'll be watching Jeff Jarrett's match very, very closely. And up next, as I mentioned, up next will be Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. I know he'll be watching, but what is going on? Because I don't know if anybody caught it, but when Renee was trying to interview Swerve Strickland, we saw Hangman Adam Page trying to get into his locker room. So I don't know what he wants with Swerve, but that's an ongoing thing we're going to look at throughout the night, because I do think Swerve is here. Because as I mentioned before, Ricochet is taking on AR Fox a week before his anticipated match next week in Atlanta. So lots is happening. We shall see, but I am all in for it. What are your thoughts on Tony Monroe? Thoughts on Tony Monroe revealing it was an act? Hey, look, Boza. Everybody had their knickers in a boot because everybody was so stressed. I'm like, oh, why did she come back? And everything else. And da-da-da-da-da. Hold on. I told everybody to relax. My client has something up her sleeve. Yes, she is a rookie. Yes, she was playing the rookie. And yes, she was trying to say she had amnesia, but she had a plan. She had a trick up her sleeve. I wasn't really worried about it. But when she revealed it, I was like, wow. And also, I know Professor said it was kind of a missed opportunity last week where I think the timing of it could have been a little bit better. But also you have to understand, like, they did have to fill in some moments for Collision because it is on Saturday. It's very hard for people to watch it on Saturday. And also you have to remember it was at Homecoming at Daly's Place. So, and also, did I mention that it was also colliding with Saturday night's main event too? So that also was another factor in there. So they had to put in some good moments on colliding with that. But hey, my client, she did what she had to do. And as I said this last Friday, Brian May, your time is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Because you're not just facing any version of Toni Storm. You're facing off of a lady that's going to be physical, dangerous, and more fierce than ever. Isn't that right, my client?
Still the same lovable, captivating Toni that I've always been.
See, she's always has been, but I'm very excited for that. But kudos to my client, because I said this before. She's going to do something not many women were unable to do. And that's be a 4-time AEW Women's Champion if she wins. So I'm excited. I'll be on the edge of my seat. And let's see. Oh, our main event is Mercedes Moné defending her AEW Women's Television Champion versus... Oh, thank you, Boza, for that. Because I have my headphones in. So, she's going to... Oh. She's going to be main eventing. Wow. Wow. She's going to be main eventing. And the first time she made event on Dynamite. And oh, Powerhouse Hobbs is talking. So let's hear what Powerhouse has to say. So we got to hear a little bit from Powerhouse Hobbs because after what happened this past weekend with him and Big Bill in that crazy street fight, he's not medically cleared yet, but I'm gonna say they're gonna go at Collision, and I have a feeling they are going to meet at Revolution. I just have a slight gut feeling. I know everybody wants to do it like on a Dynamite or Collision, but I have a feeling they're probably going to have a brawl again, and that's going to set up for a match at Revolution. And that would be crazy because remember, this is the first AEW pay-per-view of 2025. So if they want to go, no pun intended, all out on this, they got to put that on the pay-per-view card. But that's just me. And I think that match would be good. But we're ready for match number 2. Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. Reminder, if Jeff Jarrett wins, he gets a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Jon Moxley. So I do think this is going to be a very good, solid match. Obviously, MJF is going to be watching this since he still has a little ongoing feud with Jeff Jarrett. So he has this on years. Hi, Zach Mingner. Happy Lunar New Year to you. And also sending well wishes to everybody that celebrates Lunar New Year. Definitely an important holiday to celebrate in the Asian community. So sending wishes to everybody that celebrates, and happy and safe and healthy New Year to all. But yeah, Boza, thank you. Well, you know what? Me too. I'm happy she is main eventing. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. But I'm happy she is main eventing. And Boza, I have a feeling, because we're probably gonna see the wrath of Harley Cameron during the main event, because I'm gonna tell you, she's gonna have a match with her at Grand Slam in Australia. I had some people laughing at me thinking it's not gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So, but yeah, Mercedes said AEW has the best women's division. She better prove it in the main event tonight. She better prove it, because I'm just saying, she's gonna prove it. But anyways, moving on to this match between Claudio and Jeff Jarrett. And also feel free to put in the chat on who you got in this match. Do you want to see Jeff Jarrett challenge Jon Moxley, or do you want to see Claudio Castagnoli get the win? So this is definitely going to be a physical match. I will say, for Jeff Jarrett to be his age, he still has a few fighting chops in him. But that's just me. I will say the fans are definitely going for Jeff Jarrett. Jeff still got it. Yeah, he admitted it on his My World podcast that he wasn't looking to get back into wrestling. AEW kind of fell into his lap. He was happy just doing his podcast. Jeff can still go. Exactly. He can still go. So he definitely looks good. He's been wrestling for more than 20 years. And oh God, what is Wheeler Yuta doing out here? Doesn't he have to get ready for his match with Jay White? I know he has a match. I know he has a match against Jay White, but come on, man. Hi, Working Stiff Pro Wrestling. Thank you for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite. If you're just catching up to speed, we're on Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. Stipulation is, if Jeff Jarrett wins, he gets a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, he has to deal with that little runt, Wheeler Yuta, because I don't know why he's interfering in this match, knowing he has a match against Jay White. He'll be main eventing. Wheeler Yuta's facing off against Jay White, so I don't even know why he's out here. Oh God. But of course he has him. Claudio is panicking. He needs that little mascot. Exactly. It's like, we know Claudio is a very, very great athlete and he can handle on his 2 feet, but why does he have to have that little runt Wheeler Yuta, because I'm already getting sick of him interfering in some matches. I didn't appreciate him when he interfered in my client, Freshly Squeezed, or Cassidy's matches. Didn't appreciate him interfering in a few matches with Jay White. But I don't know. It is what it is. But like I said, feel free to put in the chat, who do you think's gonna win? Do you think Jeff Jarrett should get his title opportunity, or you think Claudio's gonna win? And also, just to let you know, the match is still in picture-in-picture, but the match is still going on live, even though it is in picture-in-picture. But this is definitely a good match. I mean, we kicked off with Brian Cage versus Will Ospreay. Definitely a good match to kick it off. And we are ending in a rarity. We are ending with the ladies tonight. Oh my God. It's just so nice seeing the ladies. Like, honestly, I don't care at this point. I don't care what ladies match. I'm just happy the ladies are getting that main event spot. And yes, I know it's Mercedes, but at this point, like, I don't even care. I'm just happy they're main eventing. He has gotten under my skin. What can you do with him? Jeff should win. Grand Slam needs a main event unless Mercedes or Mariah main events. I'm assuming Mercedes wins. Well, I would love to see Jeff Jarrett get a win. I would love for him to get a shot against Jon Moxley. And also, they need to add more matches to Grand Slam. I would love it. I would love to see my client and Mariah May main event Grand Slam, considering, and I have to be corrected because, yes, Toni Storm is from New Zealand, but our producer from the future doesn't think that she is Australian in his right, which is only fair because he lives in Australia and he exactly knows. But also, assuming, well, I would believe Mercedes retains. My prediction still stands. I do think Harley Cameron is not only going to get her first win in Grand Slam, I think she is going to challenge Mercedes for the TBS championship. So, and plus it would be nice to see Harley Cameron, another Aussie, just get a win and just perform well in our home country. So, that's something I would like to see. But we are back with Claudio and Jeff Jarrett. These guys are going at it. Of course, you see that little run. Wheeler Yuta is at ringside because, of course, they want to protect Jon Moxley and his AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know why the heck he's out here, considering he has a match with Jay White tonight, because Jay White will finally get his hands on Wheeler Yuta. So, uppercut made by Claudio. Nice comeback by Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, he's fighting back. I will say I'm going to make a note of this. It's actually nice seeing the scenery in smaller arenas in AEW, because it's like you don't see a lot of space as you would in bigger venues. And it's so nice to see the crowd get into it and the whole atmosphere. Oh, he's doing the Superman swing. Onto Jeff Jarrett. Sharpshooter. And is Jeff Jarrett going to tap? Is he going to tap? I don't think Jeff Jarrett wants to tap. He wants a shot. He definitely wants to get his shot in for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Uh-oh, Jeff Jarrett, he's trying to pull it in. Oh my god. Jeff Jarrett, he's putting in the sharpshooter. Is he gonna win? Is he gonna win? Is he gonna win? What is that little runt doing? He's ruining a good match. Oh my goodness. And he knocked out Wheeler Yuta. Good. Get that little pest out of here. On. Jeff Jarrett. Oh, and look. The World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley, comes in. DDT. I really wanted Jeff Jarrett to get a shot. I really wanted him to win, but it looks like, from the looks of it, it looks like it's already over. And Claudio, this has to be it. Yeah. Oh, man. That has to be it. 3, and your winner is Jeff Jarrett. Jon Moxley is a freaking coward. He doesn't want to defend, or we're waiting until Darby finishes. That's when. Well, as I mentioned, Boza, I mean, right now, Darby's supposed to be coming back in spring. Because after he does his Mount Everest, they're supposed to be waiting. But I do think it's going to be a match between him and Adam Copeland at Revolution. So, we shall see. But your winner is Claudio Castagnoli. Of course, he got some help from the Death Riders, but we shall see. Because Wheeler Yuta, he's going to be in action a little bit later against Jay White. So, Jeff Jarrett, he's in the ring. Referees and medics are, the referee's trying to check to see if he's okay, but that's just, well. Because we saw what Moxley did last week to Adam Copeland. And the fans are rooting for Double J. God bless your soul, Jeff Jarrett. And look who comes out. MJF. I did mention earlier MJF was going to be closely watching this, and let's see how he gloats. The guy from Long Island, New York. Boza, yes, behave, but he's still a jerk. I call him a jerk. But let's see what this jerk has to say. I'm pretty sure he has a lot to say in that microphone. But, no surprise there. No surprise there. Well, MJF doing what he does best. He gave a cheap shot to Jeff Jarrett. Well, he said what he had to say. He just loves to gloat. loves to gloat. MJF makes garbage look clean. That's an interesting comment. Boza, oh god. Well, that was really interesting, and we're going on commercial. We're definitely and we're back on commercial. They're showing the promo for, as I mentioned, the first AEW pay-per-view of 2025, AEW Revolution, which will be Sunday, March 9th on pay-per-view. I'm curious if they're going to stream it on Max. I know they said pay-per-view, but I'm very curious if they're going to do that. Because that would be pretty cool if it was also streamed on Max as well. We know All in Texas will be streaming on Max, but that would be pretty cool if it is. Because they didn't sign that deal for Max for nothing. But just on commercial, everything else. But, we're going to take a quick one. So, feel free to check out some merch that we have on WWT Live because we got some cool merch. So feel free to check it out.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to wwtalkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
Don't make her fight you, but feel free to check out some of the merch that we have on WWT Live, and we got some coming in the next couple months, so just be very patient. All jokes aside, glad LA is getting Revolution. They could use a good show to distract themselves from what is going on with the wildfire aftermath. Absolutely. With everything that's been happening the last couple weeks, it's always good. And I'm happy they are going back to LA for Revolution. So it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling in the world. But anyways, I mentioned this in our watch along earlier today because last Friday, if you watched WWT Live, myself, Professor, Honey, and Councilman, we were all talking about, the Hurt Syndicate getting the tag team titles. I mean, I was okay with it, but, Professor, of course, doing what he does best, making a claim on the tag team belts, and was talking about some of the reigns of, like, FTR and the Young Bucks, and he made in a claim that the Acclaimed had the worst reigns as tag team champions. Well, if I can find, oh, here we go. I usually don't try to put on my shades, but I have to on my OC Cassidy shades for this because there is a lot of things that I need to say. Actually, I'm going to switch to my glasses because I am a little blindsided with them, but anyways, he made a claim that the Acclaim had the worst reigns as AEW Tag Team Champions. I kind of have to rebuttal a bit. And before my thought, let's see what Ricochet has to say to Renee Paquette. Of course, he's getting ready for his match tonight with AR Fox and his match with Swerve next week. So let's see what he has to say. I think Ricochet. Ricochet is so big and bad. If Swerve shows his face, Ricochet gets off and no match for next. Well, yeah, you're right. We already knew that because if Swerve comes in, he runs like a little mouse. But Ricochet is coming out to the ring. He's getting ready for his match with AR Fox. Let me change my banner. Here we go. Okay, so anyways, I was talking about earlier because Professor put out a claim that the Acclaimed had the worst reign as tag team champions. And I kind of had to rebuttal a little bit and think about this because I don't think they had the worst reign as tag team champions. Because if you go back, and of course, it might have been because of like a booking issue or anything else, but I wouldn't say their reign was the worst. But also, I have to really think about this because I'm looking at all the people that were tag team champions. But do you have to think that Austin and Colton Gunn, Jurassic Express with Luchasaurus, and with Jack Perry was Jungle Boy, the inaugural champion SoCal Uncensored, Ricky Starks and Big Bill had better reigns than the Acclaimed? And also remind you that Austin and Colton Gunn had at least 56 days as tag team champions before they dropped the belts to FTR. So I just want to be really clear because I can go through the list and I don't want to sound biased because the Acclaimed are my clients, but the days of length, they had 140 days. They are so, and when I mean over with the fans, I mean over with the fans. And even right now, even though they both split, they still have merchandise being sold. Like their merchandise is still being worn. So you can't deny that. They have out of the box creativity because they try to do things on how do they get to make them better? What can they do to improve themselves as a tag team? And especially with the tag team titles, when they were champions, they put out an open challenge to almost anybody. Pretty much. And also, if you recall, they wanted to face off against the best tag team in the world at that time. And at that time, it was FTR. And I remember watching this match on YouTube recently of their match against FTR when they were tag team champions. And also when they put the tag team titles on the line. And that match was pretty good because they had really great chemistry. And I remember when Caster made a comment about Dax Hardware giving both him and Anthony praise in that match, saying like it was some of their best footwork ever. So they actually did something that not many tag teams were doing, and that's when they pinned FTR. And that really is definitely a credible win to really think about because FTR is a legit team and they don't take many losses. So that was something that really made me think about. And also, this is no disrespect to the Guns, but I wish the rivalry between the Acclaimed and FTR was a little bit further when they were tag team champions. Because that would have been so cool to see them be in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Or like so in a match that's right outside of the Acclaimed's comfort zone to really show some aggressiveness in them. That's something I kind of wish I would have saw. Because I feel like with FTR and the Acclaimed, there was chemistry there. And they could have had one of the best rivalries within the tag team division in AEW. And also, they never faced off against Private Party. But never say never. It'll happen. And for me, technically, they kind of entered into mainstream a little bit because they were on, this is probably back in 2020 or 2021, they were on one of the top wrestling podcasts, Busted Open, the two of them, when they were at the height, as I mentioned, with the deal with Warner Brothers. They were on Food Network last year, and also me loving Food Network, that's also really crazy. But also, when I think of like the workhorse and backbone of this AEW tag team division, you kind of have to put them on the front. Again, you know, you could say whatever you want. You could put a bias against them, but you can't deny the impact and success that the Acclaimed has had as a tag team. I don't think they had the worst reign. I just wish it would have been a little bit better for the reign. But that's just me. And I kind of had to really think about it, but that was something. And I know there was a few people that did like Private Party last week, and they were very upset about that. But that was just my case on why I think the Acclaim didn't have the worst reign in the AEW tag team division. But that's just something I had to think about. And also, I have a very interesting theory that I had regarding the tag team division, but I'll talk about that throughout the show. And also, just a friendly reminder too, there will be a post show, but also it'll be on the same link. It'll be on the same link. You do not have to go anywhere, because after we go through Dynamite, it's going to be a quick post show, nothing too crazy. So just a friendly reminder there. So I wanted to do that. Also, we have the match in picture, because even though it's in picture, the match is still going on between AR Fox versus Ricochet. I know I wanted to focus on the match, but I had to get my point across, because that really struck a nerve on me. And very rarely there are some stuff that strikes a nerve, but that I kind of was like, no. And also for me, with the Acclaim, I actually met both of them separately. Of course, I talked about meeting Max Caster back in December of 2023 when I was Miss New Jersey for America Strong. And over the weekend, I actually met Anthony Bowens. Over the weekend at an event at Mount Clair State University. And I will say he is the sweetest and nicest person you will ever meet. And also, it's always nice to seeing people from your home state in the wrestling world doing their thing. So it makes me happy to see him doing well. Hi, Eddie Foster. Thank you for joining on this episode of AEW Dynamite. And you missed a few actions because right now we are in Ricochet versus AR Fox. We kicked off the show with Ryan Cage versus the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay picked up the victory, but he ended up getting a beatdown by the entire Don Callis family. We also got to see Claudio Castagnoli versus Jeff Jarrett. Due to the interference from the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli got the victory. And then, of course, we got to see MJF come into the ring and put a beat down on Jeff Jarrett and just gloating after his loss. So it's been a good solid one. We also have a few things coming up. Of course, we have Wheeler Yuta taking on Jeff Jarrett. Wheeler Yuta taking on Jay White. Switchblade Jay White. Also, and I found out from Boza, it looks like our main event is going to be Mercedes Moné taking on Yuka Sakazaki for the TBS Championship. And also, we're going to hear from our AEW Women's Champion, Mariah May. So we got some pretty good stuff, and we're almost done with the first hour of Dynamite. Where has the time gone? But it's nice to be with all of you on a Wednesday, even though it's hump day, but really happy to be here with all of you for tonight, and definitely going through the run through for AEW Dynamite, because next week they are in Atlanta, Georgia, for the first time in 5 years. So lots of stuff is happening. And now we are back live between Ricochet and AR Fox. And this is pretty much a match for Ricochet to get him prepared for next week against Swerve Strickland. And also just a reminder that he's going to do a one-on-one sit-down interview with Miss Renee Paquette this Saturday on Collision. And curious what he's going to say. So I'm very intrigued on that. So Ricochet is trying to do a suplex. AR Fox blocked it. Ooh, double clothesline. Ooh, that has to hurt. see. Ooh, nice counter by AR Fox. Kick out by Ricochet. Oof. Ooh. Ooh, AR Fox. Is he going to put this away? Is he going to get a win? 2. Kick out by Ricochet. That was a close one. That was pretty much a close one. And the fans are chanting, "This is awesome." Wow. I have to say, this is a pretty solid match between these two. And just to let you know, we are in the 9 o'clock hour, the final hour of Dynamite. And it went by super quick. And where has the time gone? Ricochet's trying to block it. Well, he's trying to grab the referee's shirt. Ooh, kick up by AR Fox. He's still in this match. He wants to end this match. Oof. That has to be it. Yep. And your winner of that match is Ricochet. And it's good because he's getting a match right before facing off against Swerve Strickland next week. All right, so Ricochet. Oh. He got those scissors. What's he going to do with those scissors? What's he going to do? Oh! Oh, there is Swerve. Swerve Strickland. Or as one of my clients, Max Caster, calls him Sneaky Swerve. There's a reason he calls him Sneaky Swerve. Ricochet, he can run, but he can't hide. Especially with his match next week in Atlanta. and there's Nana right there. Nana got his coffee. Oh, wait a minute. He's trying to threaten AR Fox with the scissors. He really is trying to threaten him. Ricochet's trying to hold AR Fox hostage. Oh, God. And Swerve. He's got those scissors. You really think you're going to defend Swerve with a pair of scissors? Swerve is saying one more week. One more week, he said to Ricochet. And Nana, he has his coffee. Oh boy, that match is really going to be fire. I hope that match next week's the main event. I hope it is. I did see Taz do the na-na dance a bit. I mean, it's really catchy. You can't deny that. Ricochet is so scared. Those are little scissors. You know it's serious when Nana ain't filled with the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I know. You're right. And it's first off, why is Ricochet stealing my client's The Acclaimed scissor trademark? It's a good thing it was not pink. But I'm just saying, like gold scissors. He could have thought of another weapon to use, but scissors, come on. It should be the main event. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Next week, that match should definitely be the main event for next week in Atlanta. I think so. But Swerve, he said one more week. One more week, he's gonna get his hands on that little rat with Ricochet. But also, we're seeing the up close series that's on YouTube that Renee Paquette has done. She's done many interviews with Mariah May, Daniel Garcia, Private Party, FTR, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and she's doing it with the Death Riders. And it's very interesting because I know it's supposed to be on screen, but it's like it's supposed to be on screen because I know Renee's doing her job, but it's just kind of interesting with her and her husband. But yeah, I've had the chance to watch the up close series, and some of the interviews are really good. A few of my favorite interviews that I did enjoy was, of course, like Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Daniel Garcia was something I enjoyed. Private Party after they were tag team champions, so I definitely recommend checking it out. Oh, and Daddy Magic's 30 Seconds of Madness for AEW Shop. Oh my god. I agree. That match better not kick off Dynamite. That would be a bad move. Yeah, I'm hoping Boss Man learns his lesson. That match should definitely be the main event next week. Giving Renee credit for being a journalist right here. Given she had the assignment of spending 20 minutes with Death Riders, which include her husband. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Renee's doing her job. Especially with a group that's been wreaking havoc throughout AEW that is led by her husband. And sure, I know that was something that she's not used to, but I'm happy she did stood her ground from a media and journalist standpoint and delivered a non-biased interview, which I will say. But in case you didn't notice, this is WWT Live's PR Princess, Madam Elite, Stone Cold, Timeless Elite, everything you need to know, things all elite. Miss Courtney is in the building with you all on this Wednesday night on Dynamite, and we are in the final hour of Dynamite. It goes quick when you guys are on the call, but I'm very excited to be with all of you. I know I wasn't able to be on WWT Live today, but I was very much excited but I was very excited to be on Dynamite today. I know things happen, but I always try to make sure I'm available for Wednesday nights. But, you know, things happen and life happens, but I'm very happy to spend it with all of you. Thanks again, Courtney, for giving us your weekly coverage of Dynamite with how busy you were. Yeah, I was. I know. Like I said, I wasn't on WWT Live, but I'll be back on Friday because Monday, it was myself, Professor, and Honey, and we had to give our picks for the Royal Rumble. So you'll be hearing my pick for the Royal Rumble on Friday, and you're going to like my pick because I had to do a lot of deep digging, and it's actually a pick that not many people would expect to win the Royal Rumble, but it's been under the radar, very sneaky, but you know, it's definitely been a treat. Of course, we got Rumble this weekend. 2 weeks from Saturday, we got Grand Slam Australia. So we got a lot of wrestling ahead of us. And then, of course, March, first AEW pay-per-view of 2025 Revolution. But I already know what pay-per-view I'm looking forward to. And that's in April in Philadelphia, AEW Dynasty. I'm going to try to convince the boss lady. I'm going to try to convince boss lady for me to go to Dynasty. Trying to see if we could do a media scrum, but I just have to remind her. So we're going to make that happen for Dynasty because it's in Philly. It's in my backyard, and I am excited. And the first AEW pay-per-view to come to Philadelphia. That is historic. I'll be at the Royal Rumble. It'll be interesting to hear what your picks are going to be. Yes, Eddie, you'll be listening to it on WWT Live on Friday. I will be giving up my picks. I am very excited. And also spending with all of you. So if you're joining us tonight, we kicked off with, and also before I jump in, we are going to do a post show after this. It's going to be on the same link, so you don't have to like click in and out. You don't have to change anything. It's going to be on the same link. I'm going to do a quick post show for Dynamite because I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you, Boza, for that reminder. Yes, Triple H is headlining WrestleMania 41 class of the Hall of Fame, and I can't think of anyone better deserving for that. He has done so much for this business. So much. Countless memorable rivalries with The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Randy Orton. Oh, sorry. I'm just looking at the new movie that's coming out because AEW was talking about it. You know, it's really interesting. I kind of noticed this a bit. I know they're talking about Dark Match. You know what I noticed? They did not do any promo for Queen of the Ring. And that's coming out in March. And also considering one of the stars that's in it is one of your top ladies in AEW, my client, Toni Storm. Damn it. And they better give her some media tour for that film. Because I want to see that film. Oh, and of course, I see my guy, Chris Jericho. So let me see what he has to say in his edition of New York Minute. Oh, Chris. Never failed to amaze me. But this Saturday on Collision, it was announced Jericho and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, are going to be taking on the Outrunners this weekend. So I'm really happy to see the Outrunners in tag team action because I think they can be a serious contender for the tag team division. I just need them to start racking a lot more wins to really get that because they have the charisma, they got the fans behind them. They just need to start racking a lot more wins. But that'll be a match happening this Saturday on Collision. Also, I noticed too, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but I can tell there's a little bit of friction between Big Bill and Chris Jericho. But I don't know if it's just me because I'm starting to see this myself because maybe it's a possibility that Big Bill may be getting tired of Chris Jericho a bit. But I don't know. We'll keep guessing and we'll find out in the coming weeks because I know Big Bill versus Powerhouse Hobbs is definitely going to be a match. Great. Tony Moreau took over that role that Charlotte Flair should have. It's gloating. Yeah, I know. Look, I know. I know. That's my client. That's my client. But hey, my client did a heck of a job with that role because I've seen clips of it at Queen of the Ring. And of course, Jericho, that's his movie. But I'm going to tell you something. And I hope, not just Tony, but I hope Boss Man and every single person on that PR and media team and every single executives give her some press tour to promote not just that movie, but also AEW, because that is a really great opportunity. And also, I would love for her to cross over into mainstream, damn it. So, but that's just my rant for today. Yeah, Jericho is intimidated of Powerhouse Hobbs. He doesn't want to face him. He sent Big Bill to take care of Hobbs Saturday. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So, her and yeah, Camille too. I didn't know Jericho did that movie till now. I knew Jericho did a movie. I just didn't know if it was that recent. Because I know he did do like a movie and he talked about it, but I just did not know it was this movie. But yeah, I definitely want to see like not just her, but also Camille too. Like definitely just getting a lot of good press release, press tours, talking about the movie, talking about AEW. This is where they really kind of need to put their ground in. So they better do it since Queen of the Ring is coming out in March. And I can't wait to see that movie. But we got some action coming in between. Oh, yeah, that little runt, Wheeler Yuta, because this is the second time we're seeing him tonight, taking on Switchblade Jay White. And you have to remember, this has been going on for the last couple of weeks because Wheeler Yuta did screw Jay White in a match a couple weeks ago. And Switchblade Jay White has been wanting to get his hands on Wheeler Yuta ever since. So I do expect a lot of physicality between these two. They're definitely going to go to war. But I'm here for it. Definitely a good match to see. And also feel free to put in the chat on who do you think is going to win. Switchblade Jay White or Wheeler Yuta is going to win. So it's definitely going to be physicality. Well, it looks like Jay White has mostly the upper hand. Wheeler Yuta. Oh, that's a tough place to keep your grapefruits. Tough spot. Looks like Jay White has the upper hand on Wheeler Yuta. And all the fans are enjoying the beat. Ooh. Nasty shot to the knee of Jay White from Wheeler Yuta. Ooh. Oof. Really, Yuta's targeting that knee and hitting it on the steel steps. Oof. Ugh. Nice suplex by Yuta. Really, Yuta's targeting that knee on Jay. Oof. Oof. Jay White's hurting his knee, but even though the match is in picture with commercials, the match is still going on live between Jay White and Wheeler Yuta. So that's one of the perks I actually do like about picture. At least the match is still going on live. And it's not doing that. But also, we definitely want to thank our sponsors, All Caribbean Wrestling, and also for everything that they do for WWT Live. But feel free to check them out.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
So definitely feel free to check out our sponsor, All Caribbean Wrestling, for everything that they do. So yeah, I mean, if you're joining us right now, we're pretty much wrapping up Dynamite a bit, but it's almost 9:30. We got Switchblade Jay White taking on Wheeler Yuta, and it's been a pretty solid match with these two. And also, if you remember, this is where Switchblade Jay White finally gets his hands on Wheeler Yuta after costing him a few matches the last couple weeks. They've been going back and forth physicality, and they're finally meeting one-on-one in the ring. So don't be shocked, because I'm pretty sure the Death Riders will be watching close by, since last week they took out Mr. Adam Copeland last week, took out the Rock and Roll Express, and then tied up FTR. We haven't seen Darby Allin since December. So they've been wreaking a lot of havoc. And we also haven't seen my boy Orange Cassidy since January 1st. That's also another thing. So, but switching back from picture in picture, we are back live from Huntsville, Alabama. Wheeler Yuta, Switchblade Jay White. Wheeler Yuta's trying to taunt with the crowd, but we see Switchblade trying to show a little bit of offense. It looks like Wheeler Yuta tweaked his knee a little bit. Is it? Suplex! Ooh, that was a nasty little suplex. Jay White delivering some chops. Two.
Guns up.
Oof. Wheeler Yuta's been targeting that knee of Jay White. It looks like he's putting a submission move in. Jay White's trying to get to the ropes. Ooh, Jay White got his hands onto the ropes. Oof. Nasty, nasty kick. Kick out by Jay White. Ooh, nice counter by Jay White. Is he gonna end it? All right, kick out by Jay White. Ooh. Ooh, top rope. Nice counter by Jay White. That should be it. Is it it? And your winner for this match, Switchblade Jay White. Oh my God. That's your winner. He got some retribution against Wheeler Yuta, but he still wants to be AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And I don't think he's done yet. He's not done yet with Wheeler Yuta. Man. Well, he's sending a message to the Death Riders. Oh my God. Oh, wait. Here comes the champ. And here comes Marina Shafir behind him. Marina's trying to intimidate the ref. And hold on, wait a minute. There's Claudio. And look, the world champion. Well, let's see. He took out Darby Allin. He took out Adam Copeland. Oh, and speaking of Adam Copeland, there he is, rated FTR. I thought after last week's assault he wasn't going to come tonight, but there's a rated FTR. And you also remember, not only the Death Riders have the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, they also have the AEW Trios belt. They still have it. So thankfully they came to the aid of Jay White. Hold on, let's see what Dax has to say. Well, it looks like Dax put out a challenge for Collision this weekend. FTR is taking on the Death Riders, and ooh, it's going to be a lot of physicality this weekend on Collision. We get to see the Outrunners in action this weekend against Chris Jericho and the Bad Apple. Oh, and let's hear what Mariah May has to say. Oh, well, they're showing the promo from last weekend, so. Oh, my client. She did just amazing cinema work. Hi, T. Ayers. Thank you for joining on tonight's watch along for Dynamite. So, Street Fight. Wonder if a woman shows up to counteract Marita. Well, I kind of have to be realistic about this, Boza, because I mean, the only female I can see her counteracting is probably Willow, because you have to kind of think storyline wise on like who would align with rated FTR. Because I know Willow, she would be in support of like Orange Cassidy. So like if Orange Cassidy was kind of in the mix, then I could see Willow coming in a bit. So it's kind of like, how are you gonna counteract with this? So, but who knows? We may see. And plus, no Radio FTR, they may have something up their sleeves. So, we shall see. Tony Monroe is some of her best work. Well, it is true. I will say this is some of the character development that we want to see. And I want to see it in all the ladies of AEW. But we get to see, it's always good seeing Renee tonight. And she had a busy packed night. So, we will hear from the AEW Women's Champion, Mariah May, because sister, your time is up as Women's Champion. My client, she's going to get you and beat you and will be a 4-time AEW Women's Champion. But let's hear what the champ has to say. real. Don't you be talking about my client. She's scared. Well, Mariah May, she had some words to say, but sweetheart, your time is ticking. Your time is up as women's champion. Your time is up. Just me. Most of that is true. She wants to be a 3-time. But remember, because I know you're trying to include her as a rookie, she will be a 4-time women's champion if she wins. She'll be a 4-time. But we shall see. Because Mariah May, your time is up. Tick, tock, tick, tock. And we also are seeing a promo from Austin and Colton Gunn. If you guys remember, they were actually attacked by Hangman Adam Page. They were attacked by Hangman Adam Page. So, matches on Collision. So we're gonna see a lot of tag team action this weekend. Hook and Samoa Joe taking on Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're seeing the Outrunners taking on the Learning Tree of Chris Jericho and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. Oh, we get to hear from my client, the timeless one, Tony Storm. And then, of course, TNT Championship 3-way match. We get to see Daniel Garcia, the TNT champion, taking on Kyle O'Reilly and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Moriarty. Because, of course, they're showing the footage from 2 weeks ago on Collision. Oops, I forgot sometimes about that weird Rainus interim. No, Boza, that's okay. I know people want to say that she's a rookie, but since now she's timeless again, she's now a 3-time women's champion. But if she does win in Australia next month, she'll do something not many women in the division has done, and that would be a 4-time AEW Women's Champion. So very proud of my client. She got some tricks up her sleeve. She got some plans. So we shall see. But Mariah May, your time is up. But I'm just really excited about this. I know we talked about the guys, but I'm just happy to see some ladies in the main event. I'm just happy. And I'm going to tell you something, because if you're going to give some of the guys an overrun, I expect you better give the ladies a little bit of overrun as well. And they are showing last week with, hold on. Sorry, I was too intrigued by it because they just showed a promo of last week's tag team match with the Hurt Syndicate beating Private Party last week and really putting the whole tag team division on notice. So they said they will have an open challenge and they want to defend the tag team titles anytime, any place, anywhere. So anytime, any place. So I'm very curious on who's going to step up to the plate because, as I mentioned, you have the Gates of Agony I would love to see. I would love to see Brian Cage and Lance Archer get an opportunity for that. I'm trying to think of who else. I would love to see the Outrunners get an opportunity. I wouldn't mind like FTR challenging for the belts. This is going to sound pretty crazy, but I wouldn't mind seeing them go against the Young Bucks only because I just want to see them get squashed. I know that's kind of mean to say, but I would root for the Hurt Syndicate in that match. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but But also, I was really thinking about this too last week because I'm thinking of the long-term storytelling and all this because I kept thinking about it in my head so much that I feel like one of their biggest threats to that tag team division they took away, and that was the Acclaimed. And the reason I thought about the reason I say this is because I thought about this for quite some time. And also, if you recall, on MVP sending his business card, like he sent it to Swerve, he sent it to Mercedes Moné, he sent one to Leo Rush, he sent one to the Acclaimed and Max Caster. And when you think about it, because the Acclaimed are the winningest tag team, because ever since MVP came in, there was a dark cloud hanging over the Acclaimed. Because sometimes you have to find a way to take out your biggest threats for those belts. And then back in January 1st, when they had that match against the Hurt Syndicate, that was when they were disjointed, they weren't on the same page, and they didn't have the chemistry that they used to have. So that's why I have a feeling that MVP kind of took out their biggest threat. And I'm thinking long-term storyline wise, because I know like Anthony and Max, they're going to do great. Low-key, they're going to have a fire rivalry. But I'm just thinking of this, like, what if they wipe the floor on every single tag team? And also, Boza, good to your point, maybe a partner for Swerve, because remember, Swerve still has a bone to pick with the Hurt Syndicate. But I'm just saying, like, if they wipe the floor off of every single tag team, and if the Acclaimed, because they're going to reunite somewhere down the line. Oh man, that would be long-term storytelling. I'm just really thinking about this in my head because you took out the winningest tag team. That's like your biggest threat. And also when they're in sync, they're in synergy, and they're on the same page. Oh my God. Because that's what I'm really thinking about. But we shall see. That was just something I thought about in my head because I'm thinking long-term storyline wise. But I think that would have been crazy because you took out like the biggest threats to those belts. But those are going back to your point. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I'm just trying to think who would be a good partner for Swerve. I'm trying to think who would be a good partner for Swerve. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Actually, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him and Powerhouse Hobbs tag team together. That would be crazy. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Anthony Bowens tag team together. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this in my head. I'm just thinking about this in my head. But there's just so many options. But we'll see how they are with the tag teams. And I'm really curious on where this is going to go, because I think they'll probably need there. It really does need a shake up. So, hey, I'm going to be curious on who's going to step up to the plate, who they're going to. And the thing I do like it is they open up to all tag teams. So, we shall see. But I'm seeing the clip earlier. They're showing a clip from earlier tonight after the match between Will Ospreay and the Machine Brian Cage. So we shall see. We shall see. But as I mentioned, Grand Slam Australia, it will be a tag team match. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, taking on Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. So. But I like they're showing some of the one of the things I'm starting to learn about Dynamite is I'm happy they are showing some of the highlights from a little bit earlier tonight if people missed it. And that really kind of gets it going. But I will say this, they better give the ladies a pretty good match. And I know if you could give the guys match an overrun, you better give the ladies an overrun too. So I'm very excited to see the main event. But this is Mercedes' first main event match on Dynamite since she's been on AEW. So I know she's going to go in the ring. She's a very talented athlete. So her and Yuka are going to slap tonight. MJF has that face you want to slap. Oh, he does. I think almost everybody wants to slap him in the face. Oh, and we get to see the Vendettas. Well, it looks like Deanna and Taya put out a threat to Harley Cameron on Collision this weekend. I'm happy Mercedes is main eventing. She loves the style of Yuka. Oh, yeah, I definitely think they would kill it. But here is your wonderful CEO. She has the New Japan Strong Women's belt, the TBS champion, and I hope I said this right, the Revolution Pro Championship belt that Mina Shirokana had. So hopefully I said it right. Yep, Rev Pro Women's Champion. I believe this is Mercedes' first in-ring action since she became the Rev Pro Women's Champion. Yeah, Bozy, you're right. She hasn't had much action, but she does have the 4 belts. You cannot deny the fact. You cannot deny. She's a really great athlete in the ring. But this is going to be a fun match. And I think I see a lot of signs for Yuka Sakazaki. Oh, God. Yuka Sakazaki. Oh, God. Yuka Sakazaki. That's the name. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today. I mean, I know it's Wednesday and all, but oof. Oh my God. Crazy. Crazy. But yes, Yuka Sakazaki. And they're showing the clip from Collision over the weekend where Taya Valkyrie tried to stick her nose where it doesn't belong, but she had some help from Harley Cameron. But this is going to be a fun match, and I'm just happy to see I'm just happy to see some of the ladies main event on Dynamite. It just makes me happy. The women won't get an overrun. The women's TV time. Oh yeah, that is true. Well, thank you for the note, Boza, but 20 minutes. Well, it's 9:51, so they better make it the best 20 minutes ever on Dynamite. Well, there she is. She is the TBS championship. TBS champion. I have to say, I actually do like her wig and hair color in this one. It actually does suit her very good. This one, and when she had red, that was a really good hair color I do like on her. So, here we go, guys. Your main event. The TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné taking on Yuka Sakazaki. And I just saw a sign that's supporting Yuka. And here we go. Ooh, and it's official. The Death Riders, John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta taking out FTR in a Mid-South street fight. Ooh, that's going to be old school wrestling. Yuka stood up quickly. Don't underestimate Yuka. She's trying to do the dance of the CEO. That was really cute. Oh my God. I love it. Oh God, Yuka, she's just having the time of her life. I love that she's playing mind games with her. It's not jealous of Mercedes of why I don't like her. I wish Mercedes would lose once in a while. Well, I mean, I don't think it's not jealous. It's just sometimes she needs to take a slice of humble pie. She just needs to take a slice of it. And as I mentioned, one loss is not going to kill her. One loss is not going to defy her. She just needs to lose one match. And that's it. And just learn how to be humble. Ooh. All right, so this match is going in picture in picture. Even though it's going picture in picture, the match is still going on. Match is still going on. So, Yuka and Mercedes. Oof, nasty dropkick by Mercedes. Whoa, a little bit of a glitch, but we are back live on AEW Dynamite. If you're joining us, it's our main event, and we have the ladies main eventing. It's been a while since we had a ladies main event match for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné, the CEO, taking on Yuka Sakazaki. If you recall, she won from a fatal 4-way match over on Collision over this weekend, where she beat Deonna Purrazzo, Queen Aminata, and Serena Deebs to get a shot at Mercedes Moné. Ooh, nice Hurricanrana. Ooh, nasty spot by Mercedes, and it looked like she hurt one of her knees. Ooh. Ooh, drop kick. Do you think Mercedes is going to retain the TBS championship? Thanks for asking, T. Harris. I do think she is going to retain tonight because I feel like for this match, this is going to go down, but I feel like I want her to lose it in the most shocking and unexpected way that we never expected it. So I do have a feeling she is going to retain tonight. Mercedes looks like she is shocked, but don't lose your cool. Because you should know better that you don't have an easy opponent, lady. Oh, nice suplex by Yuka. Ooh, she countered. Yuka countered. You thought Chris Statler was a tough opponent. Yuka Sakazaki's no joke. Oh, she's doing the airplane move. Is Yuka gonna do it? 1, 2, kick out by Mercedes. Backbreaker. And it looks like she's going to put her in a submission hold. Yuka blocks it. Ooh, nice punch. This is how she won it on Saturday. Ooh, two count. I honestly get really excited whenever a women's match main events a show. Doesn't matter if it's WWE, TNA, or AEW. I just get so excited for this stuff. Ooh, that was a nasty hit. Nasty hit that Mercedes took. Ooh, knees to the gut, but is she going to get it? Ooh, nasty kick. think she's going to end it here. Powerbomb. It looks like she's going to end it here. Is this it? And the win. And your winner and still TBS champion, Mercedes Moné. Well, there's a reason she's doing that. But, hey, like her or not, you got to give her credit. You got to give her some credit. But she has the belt. That's why she's the TBS champion. But I will say it was a very good, solid match. And also kudos to Yuka Sakazaki for putting up a really good fight. Interesting way to end Dynamite, because I thought there was going to be a lot of shenanigans in that match. But, well, that ended AEW Dynamite. But feel free to give me the next 30 seconds to compose in anything, because we'll get ready to do the post show. So feel free to grab a beverage, go to the bathroom, everything that you want, because I'm going to be with you in the next 30 seconds so we can get ready for the post show. Hello, so welcome back. This is your WWT Princess. Everything you need to know about Elite, or you could call me Madam Timeless Elite. Courtney Rice is here with all of you, because we're just going to do a quick little post show to go everything what happened on tonight's edition of Dynamite, coming to you from Huntsville, Alabama. So just to go over a little bit of what was happening, we kicked off the show with Brian Cage and the aerial assassin, Mr. Will Ospreay. Of course, we had to deal with Lance Archer and that creep Don Callis. Of course, before the match, Kenny Omega was attacked in the back, so he had to get some medical help. So during the match, it was going back and forth, but of course, you had interference from Lance Archer and Don Callis to make sure Will Ospreay didn't get the win. But throughout all odds, Will Ospreay ended up picking up the victory. But of course, there was a beatdown with the entire Don Callis family until Kenny Omega showed up with the steel chair. You would think Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega would, but the Don Callis family got the upper hand because it was pretty much 5-on-2. And right before their match against Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay heading into Grand Slam, of course, they're facing off against Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. So this was a really good showing for the Don Callis family and really continuing that momentum. Also, Don Callis is teasing on who's the next member in line, so we don't know what's going to happen. I know in the chat, Boza said Wardlow could be a possible pick. I don't know. I don't really know who it is, because knowing Don Callis, he's got some tricks up his sleeve, but we will keep an eye on that, not just on Dynamite, but possibly on Collision and everything leading up to Grand Slam Australia. So that was the first match. We also got to see, this was really weird. So this is really weird. I don't know if anybody caught it. So Renee wanted to get an interview with Swerve Strickland, but Hangman Adam Page was trying to look through Swerve's locker room. So I don't know what that's entailing to, because is he looking for Swerve or what? And I know he had an encounter with MJF, so that just felt very odd. So I don't know why he's looking in Swerve's dressing room, but that's just me. And that's going to be something we're going to probably see develop in the couple weeks. So keep a radar on that. Of course, the next match we had was Jeff Jarrett taking on Claudio Castagnoli. If Jeff Jarrett won, he would get a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, that little runt, Wheeler Yuta, interfered in that match. So unfortunately, Claudio Castagnoli picked up the win. Then, of course, we got to see that jerk MJF come in and gloat about Jeff Jarrett's loss without getting the last laugh and giving him a beating. So this is going to be interesting on their storyline development. So so we shall see. Mox sent that little runt to get involved. Yeah, I know. And trust me, it won't be the last we see of that little runt, Wheeler Yuta, because he's facing off against Jay White a little bit later. So we shall see on that. But we got through 2 matches. Claudio. Also, the next match that we had was Ricochet taking on AR Fox. Also, Ricochet pointed out that he would like to do a sit-down interview with Renee this weekend on Collision, where he's going to be talking a lot about before his big match next week against Swerve Strickland in Atlanta. So that's going to be very interesting to see. So AR Fox versus Ricochet, a lot of going back and forth between these two guys. They definitely deliver it. But in the end, Ricochet got the momentum going into it next week. He had his signature weapon, which is the golden scissors. But little did we know that we got to see Swerve Strickland appear in his sneaky way. So Swerve Strickland tried to get the upper hand on Ricochet, but he tried to threaten AR Fox with the scissors. And nothing else from Swerve Strickland, saying 1 week. 1 week till he gets that little rat next week. But those two are definitely going to be fire. And I also have a feeling that after that match next week, they're going to have a match at Revolution. I believe they're going to have round 2. But we'll see what happens after next week. But Swerve is ready. He wants a piece of Ricochet so badly. So we shall see on that. And as I mentioned earlier, we saw Wheeler Yuta, that little runt. Yeah, I'm gonna call him the little runt because he always interferes in something that doesn't bother him. So that little runt, Wheeler Yuta, took on Switchblade Jay White. And that match has built up for the last couple of weeks, considering Wheeler Yuta interfered in some of Jay White's matches. But he finally got his hands on him. It was a very solid match going back and forth with the two of them. I'm very, very happy. But soon enough, the winner of that match was Jay White. And unfortunately, he fell victim to the Death Riders with Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley. He really much fell victim to it. Not before long, we got to see Rated FTR in action. And this Saturday on Collision, it will be FTR taking on Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta in a Mid-South Street fight. And I can imagine there's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem happening. So we shall see on that. Also, we did get to see an appearance from the Learning Tree after this past weekend's mayhem on Collision between Powerhouse Hobbs and the Learning Tree Big Bill. We did see a match get announced this weekend where the Learning Tree's Chris Jericho and Brian Keith will be taking on the Outrunners this weekend in tag team action. But we also get to see Powerhouse Hobbs and Big Bill because they have a score to settle. I have a feeling that match should happen at Grand. I know I said Revolution, but that match needs to happen at Grand Slam Australia. They only have 2 matches announced, so I think that match needs to be added to that card, and we get to see a lot of mayhem between those two. So we shall see on that and how that goes. But we also got to hear from the AEW Women's Champion, Mariah May. She had a lot to say before she has her big showdown with my client, the timeless one, Toni Storm, because she says that she's playing a role. She's playing a game. Well, Mariah, you're just you're in Tony's world, and we're just all living in it. So your time as women's champion is up. So tick tock, tick tock. And then we also got to hear a little bit from our new AEW Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicate. And they're putting it out there. They want to put a challenge to every single person within the tag team division. So this is really going to be interesting to see. I would like to see them, as I mentioned earlier during the watch-along, seeing how they do against the Outrunners, Gates of Agony, Brian Cage and Lance Archer. Top Flight is another tag team. Grizzled Young Veterans. A lot of tag teams happening. And also FTR is definitely something that I would like to see. Also, I know this is going to sound bad and selfish, but I just kind of would love to see them take on the Young Bucks, only because I just want to see them beat the crap out of them so much. That's just me. But also, this was stuck in my head for the last couple of weeks because I know Swerve still has a bone to pick with the Hurt Syndicate. But I said to myself, wouldn't that be interesting if Swerve teamed up with somebody that he hated the most? I think that would be pretty hilarious if we see Swerve and Hangman team up together to take on the Hurt Syndicate. Because remember, Hangman and Swerve both were former tag team champions separately. Hangman teamed up with Kenny Omega. Swerve teamed up with Keith Lee. I don't know. That's just something that is out of my head. Well, keep your friends close, but also your enemies closer. But that was just something that popped in my head. And I just thought that was pretty interesting and hilarious. But I don't know. That's just me. I always think of something creative in my head. And sometimes people look at me and say, that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever said. But I don't know. Anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling. But we have our matches and we got our main event. And it's the ladies this time. Mercedes Moné taking on Yuka Sakazaki for the TBS Championship. And this is Mercedes' first main event match on Dynamite. Hey, you got to admit, she had a very solid showing in this match. It was definitely a lot of chemistry. I did like the times Yuka mimicked Mercedes when she was doing the CEO dance and trying to get the best of her, and that irritated Mercedes a lot. That really cracked me up so much. But they were just going back and forth, and definitely a solid match between those two ladies, and I would love for them to go at it again. And this is something that AEW really needs to do on their women's division. Yes, I understand Mercedes is your highest paid women, but you should do it with all your women within the AEW space, because I feel like there's so much that they could do, and a lot of storylines don't have to involve either the TBS Championship or the AEW Women's World Championship. So I do believe it's going to get better. I would love to see more women. I actually am happy to see some ladies on Dynamite. I mean, we got to see Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie on Dynamite, but I think it was a little disappointing because I really thought there was going to be a little bit of shenanigans and interference after the TBS Championship match, because of course Deonna and Taya probably still have a bone to pick with Yuka, and then of course Harley Cameron, you can't forget about her, because I said that she's going to get her first win at Grand Slam in Australia in her home country. And I have a feeling she's going to be the next person in line to challenge Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. So I am in on that and would love to see the wrath of Harley Cameron taking in what's hers. Because her time is coming. I want to see her get her first win on Dynamite. I meant not Dynamite. I want to see her get her first win in front of her home country at Grand Slam. That would just be very huge. And also, we do have a few matches announced for Collision this weekend. We have many tag team matches. As I mentioned, FTR taking on Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta in a Mid-South street fight. We're also going to see Hook and Samoa Joe take on Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne in tag team action. We're also going to see a three-way match for the TNT Championship. Daniel Garcia taking on Kyle O'Reilly, taking on the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Moriarty. So we're definitely going to see that. Also, Renee is going to have a sit-down with Ricochet ahead of his match next week against Swerve Strickland. So I would think that would be really fun to do. But it's going to be good. Tonight's episode, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, I would definitely give it. There were just a few parts that I think there was missing on it. But I will say the smaller arenas are getting better. They're definitely, you could definitely see the improvement on the atmosphere and the crowd responses when they do smaller venues. So I know it's definitely something that will definitely be played out in the long run. So I'm very excited to see. But I give AEW Dynamite a solid 8 out of 10. So it has been a fun night to spend it with all of you on this Wednesday edition of AEW Dynamite. You can always find me here on WWT Live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I was not on for today's show. I will be back on Friday. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram on @CourtneyNJ11. I definitely post some content. Also, before I forget, I'm going to post this on my socials tomorrow, but tomorrow I will be on ISPW's weekly show. It's a local independent scene in New Jersey, so I will be part of their show tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will be posting it on my socials tomorrow, but it's definitely going to be fun. And make sure to follow ISPW Wrestling as well. So I'm very excited to talk about not just my reign as Miss New Jersey for America Strong, my work in PR, and also my love of how professional wrestling began. So feel free to check it out. Also, feel free to check out some of the other watch-alongs we have. Of course, this Friday, we have Honey Night SmackDown, where my WWT sister is definitely going to be buzzing everything that you need to know over at the Blue Brand. It's the final SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. I believe we're having a watch-along for Royal Rumble this weekend. So we're definitely doing that. Also, Monday nights, Monday Night Mayor, he's going to be handling Raw. Of course, we have our councilman handling Tuesday Night Pharaohs over at NXT. And of course, you have me every Wednesday for Dynamite. So feel free to like and subscribe everything that you do. I'm very, very happy to do these watch-alongs for AEW Dynamite and give a space for all of you to really share the action. So feel free to catch me next week. And also, because there was a question there. T. Harris asked me, who are your clients? Well, it's funny you mentioned that, T. Harris. I have a few. The woman that got me into AEW, Madam Toni Storm. Toni Storm got me into AEW. I'm trying to think. Oh, God, my brain's so there. Toni Storm, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Jimmy Hager are a few. And also, Sean, thank you for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite because I'm getting ready to wrap up my video. So it has been a fun time with all of you. Definitely get ready for next week's Dynamite because it'll be in Atlanta, Georgia next week. You already know the match that's going to happen. Swerve Strickland taking on Ricochet. So you do not want to miss it here. And I will see you guys on Friday for WWT Live. Have a great evening. Be safe and stay warm.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at wwtalkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.